First at 4, Vice President Kamala Harris is in the Badger State today. The VP made a first stop in La Crosse to hold a roundtable discussion with nursing home care workers about the challenges they face. Harris talked about new regulations from the Biden administration regarding minimum staffing levels and the need to increase pay for home health care workers. Harris introduced the latest actions to expand access to affordable, high-quality, long-term care and to support those care workers.
Today's conversation really is about the safety, the dignity, the guarantee of self-determination that comes with the work that home health care workers and care workers do. Today is about recognizing the gift that home health care workers and care workers give to us as a society.
This is the Vice President's third visit to our battleground state this year and is part of President Joe Biden's push to earn the support of union workers who have traditionally backed him and other Democrats. At a second event in La Crosse today, Harris is holding a campaign event focused on abortion rights.